Hello to everyone. It's the day before the new moon and 2 days before the spring equinox. And of course, I've been doing a lot of work with the two groups that I have, virtual groups, the Heaven on Earth group and the New Earth Leadership group. We very specifically scheduled all our sessions around significant cosmic portals on purpose so that we are able to tap into all the powerful energy available from those portals. Let me just top up my incense. Guys, the ancients were very wise and we would be advised to follow them. Every time I'm about to do a video, I will go into meditation, and then the minute I light my incense, I go into a deeper state. My prayer, of course, and my affirmation, of course, is to bring forward to you information of the highest and purest quality. So we've been doing a lot of work, a lot of meditations, a lot of breath work, a lot of sitting with each other, and just being within each other's field is having a most amazing impact. It's not about the information that is being shared, it's about the field of consciousness that's created when a group of people that are intentional come together to affirm, to pray, to breathe, to sit in silence. So that's what we've been doing. I purposely decided not to make the Friday meditation, the Equinox meditation, a public offering as I normally do, because I feel like we are in a little bit more serious of a situation than normal. And I need to ensure that the persons that are participating are very serious, very committed, very focused, laser focused. We really don't want people scrolling through YouTube and, bucking up on the meditation and spending 2 minutes and then scrolling away. That energy, we can't afford for that, for this equinox. So if you are interested in joining, please click the link below. There is a registration link for Friday if you're interested. Otherwise, it's going to just be members of the Heaven on Earth community and the New Earth Leadership community. But I came on here today to just let you know you don't need a guru or a leader to lead you in your meditation. I'm sure everybody here knows that, but I want to reinforce it. The problem with colonization and even with religion is that they teach us and program us to look outside of ourselves, look up to the leader, look to someone's guidance, look to someone's direction. But we're moving into a time now where we don't need any external direction. So I'm soon going to be invalid in the scheme of things. And I don't mind. I want you guys to be able to stand up on your own spiritual feet. So if you join my meditation, fine. But if you don't, sit intentionally in silence as soon as you rise on Friday morning. First in silence, and then bring in the light. And when you're finished bringing in the light and you've powered up all your chakras, then you speak. And you speak with spiritual authority. Speak on what you want to see in this world. Don't pray begging, groveling to the higher power to ask if they could do this for you. Speak with the spiritual authority that you've been born with. We give away our spiritual authority to gurus, to influencers and all of that, to our government officials, to our leaders, to institutions. Stop. The time that we're in now, and it's going to speed up, the time that we're in now requires that we stand in our own power, embody the powerful light warrior that we are, and sit in your living room. Turn your room into the control center for all that we see happening on this planet. It's been very frustrating. I live in the Caribbean, and for the first time in my entire life, I am watching our Caribbean become a zone of conflict. And it's not even so bad, but it's still unnerving. First, with what happened in Trinidad and Venezuela, and then what is now happening in Cuba. And I feel so enraged sometimes. And and that's the beauty of our group. It's people in our community that are saying, listen, calm down. Spirit has this. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. There is karma. There will be a reckoning. So we should not worry. But we can speed up or accelerate it by speaking what we want to see happening in this world. Okay, we have that authority. Now, with the authority that we've been given, we have to also make sure we're not irresponsible with it. And we're not emotional and saying, oh, we want destruction and death to this and that. No, 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 no. We can just say that we want the mechanism slowed down, weakened, or brought to a complete halt, and it will happen. There's a little group story that we have, because when we do our meditations, we ask for a glitch in the matrix, or we ask for the mechanisms of war or the machinery of war to not work. And so, with what's going on in the Middle East, we have seen that some of the mechanisms, and I'm speaking in code here, guys, that are supposed to work and protect, malfunctioned, failed. What they're saying now is that it doesn't even exist. It was just brainwashing the people to believe that there was something like that, right? So we have the power right where we are in our living rooms to control the outcome of this set of escalations. Remember, in physics, there's something called the double slit experiment, where they observed a particle going through a slit and its behavior. And then they made the same particle go through the same slit, but it was observed and the behavior changed. The outcome changed. What that means is that as observers, we actually are able to change the outcome just by watching, just by knowing. And this is why truth is important right now. Why knowing what is happening is important. You know, some people tell me, I don't watch the news. I don't need to know what's going on. Yes, you need to. And not just what the mainstream media says, but what is going on, what is actually happening, so that you can observe and influence the outcome. Of course, what we want is not death and destruction. What we want is heaven on earth. So always speak about what you want. Always visualize what you want. Right? Another reason why I wanted to come on this morning is this morning early, I get up to do my meditation. And what came to me was, listen, we as a group here have been working with the 77th meridian. I found it very intriguing that Jamaica has the 77th meridian running through it. But guess what? That same 77th meridian runs through Washington, D.C., which is the center of all of what we see happening globally. It also runs through Cuba, and then it runs due south from Washington, D.C., down through Cuba, down through Jamaica, down into South America, Peru, and Ecuador. Okay? Now, it happens to run through a couple of the Stargates on this side of the world, right? And remember what they say about what's going on in the Middle East is not a war about oil or currency or natural resources. It's actually a Stargate issue. And I don't know anything about Stargates. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be an expert on Stargates. But there is something in my spirit that tells me that all of us that are sitting on the 77th meridian are connected. Most of the people in my communities over the last couple of years have lived near to the 77th meridian or keep moving to places that are on the 77th meridian. And I'm bringing that up because when we do our meditation, we specifically always reference the 77th meridian. I feel like we're very connected to it now, and we're probably even influencing it. And why that's important is because I do grid work. On most of the meditations that I do, we use a crystal grid, and we're connected, all of us, creating a grid around the world, which is why it's so important for us to have persons from all over the world when we do our meditations. What I'm realizing is that there is a reason why there's a group of us that understand grid work and are doing grid work, because we know we're actually sitting here connected to each other through breath, through heart, and through consciousness. And we're actually protecting the Stargate. That's the bone of contention right now. I don't want to use too many words, yeah, but I will say Iran, right? So there is possibility that there is a powerful vortex in Cuba, and that this is much more than toppling a dictatorship. And so for that reason, I'm coming on here to ask everyone who's listening to this, and I want you to send it to all your friends in Jamaica and all over the Caribbean, to visualize in your meditation tomorrow, which is the new moon, and on Friday, which is the spring equinox, a frequency grid of protection around Cuba, around wherever you live, and around Iran, which is on the offensive right now. Also, visualize that beautiful grid of protection, a frequency grid of protection around the entire continent of Africa and all the Pacific Islands. I don't mean to leave out some places, but if you're listening to this, you also are a point of protection for your locality. So this is why it's important for us to come together and meditate, and for you to spend some time in silence and in meditation, doing your breath work, consciously visualizing the light coming in, and then amplifying your biofield. Because some of you are able to expand your biofield out by 10 feet, 20 feet, a mile, 10 miles. And so that is how you now protect your locality. So what I'm trying to say in this video is that we no longer have to sit and wait on any government official or any religious leader or any spiritual leader to tell us what to do. We can actually do it ourselves. Okay? So be conscious and be aware of the fact that you're able to do this. A lot of the people that are listening to this video now, I know you are airbenders and waterbenders, and you can influence weather. So I'm speaking to you now. One of the things that is being used right now as reprisal for resistance to commands and instructions being given from one country to the other is that if a country says, no, I'm not doing this, boom, natural disaster, boom, floods, boom, earthquake. This is another reason why it's important for us to put frequency grids of protection around certain countries and around your home and around yourself. And I can't even go down into the nitty-gritty of how to create a frequency grid around yourself. Just visualize it. Your visuals are more powerful than you think. Last year, March, this time, I was involved in a gathering in Montego Bay. We took psychedelics. And, everybody was saying, oh, this is for your self-healing. And the only thing I could visualize when I went in the mushrooms was a map of the world. And during my journey, I was busy creating frequency grid around certain countries. I remember doing Haiti, Cuba, and Jamaica. I created a frequency grid around it during my journey. And I remember doing a frequency grid around South America and also one around Africa. That's what I did. I instinctively knew that I shouldn't interfere with North America because I felt as if I was being spied on while I was doing this work. But no fair. There's more of us that want to see peace and protection for humanity than there are of them that want to see destruction. Okay? So let us use our knowledge, our consciousness, our heart, our visualization to create the protection for countries that are now under the microscope to be attacked. All of us collectively doing this will create something that their satellites can't see and their satellites will not know how to dismantle because it's energy. All right? And they've not been able to interfere with the spiritual realm yet. So that's where we're going to have to work if we want to have an impact. And when I say the spiritual realm, I'm talking about the spiritual realm that our ancestors knew about and worked with. I'm not speaking about what religion has taught us about praying for this and praying for that. It has its place, it's been used, and here we are, still in the middle of crisis and chaos. So in your sleep time, also know that the ones of you that are practicing and meditating and eating right, you're going into sleep time and you're doing a lot of spiritual work as well. We call you the light warriors, the ones of you that can fly in your dreams and go to different locations. You are working. Some of you remember what you do, some of you don't. I know I don't remember one thing, but I know that I'm doing stuff. Okay? So we cannot diminish or discredit those things anymore because they are real. I know they're real because I'm always interacting with persons that are explaining to me what they are doing in sleep time. We all laughed when this guy told us he was taken by the dolphins to the bottom of the sea. I cannot tell you the number of persons that have told me that same story in a one-on-one session. And they told me because they were so ashamed to tell anybody else because it would sound insane. A lot of this is happening and people are not talking out of shame. But all of this is work being done to liberate humanity and to bring about the peace that we want to see in this world. All right. So I want you to play your role in the privacy of your living room, setting up that frequency net that frequency grid of protection around certain countries, around your home, around your family, around certain regions, right? Those frequency grids and frequency nets that you create in your mind are the same grids that will disrupt and cause equipment to malfunction and give wrong information. In other words, your doing this is going to glitch the war machinery if all of us can do this. And I also want to encourage you to share this video with persons in Jamaica that you know that are on this wavelength. We are doing an in-person meditation in Jamaica on Friday evening at 8 Hillcrest, Kingston Night Markets venue. We're going to be doing it upstairs. Okay? And so we need all hands on deck. Right? Prayer warriors, do your thing. Okay? All of us have a little piece of the puzzle. And when we do the things that we are naturally inclined to do and utilize the gifts that we have been given, then miracles begin to happen. So if you're a prayer warrior, pray. If you're an airbender or waterbender, speak to those energies, those spirits, to assist in protecting certain countries from geoengineering disasters or geoengineering reprisals for resistance. I remember in 2023 when I was traveling, I was in Africa, and I remember when I flew out, there were so many floods in North Africa, Libya, Algeria, and so on, only to find out that a couple of these countries refused USAID money. Dams were broken, whole communities flooded, just to send a message that this is what happens when you don't do what I tell you to do. So we all have to pay attention to what's happening. And now you know why I can't make a public offering of my Friday meditation. There are things that we're going to do that's not for the public. Things that we want to say that we don't want to have censored. So if you are interested in joining us, please click the link below and I will see you on Friday. If you're not able to, please do your own version of a meditation or find the myriad of ones that are going to be available on the 20th. All right, so that's my message. We are doing a lot more than we think we are doing. The sun has just let off a coronal mass ejection yesterday. So we're going to have a geomagnetic storm at the perfect time during the new moon and during the spring equinox. That's not an accident. That's just more cosmic energy being poured into us, activating our DNA so that we can become more powerful in our spiritual gifts and our ability to influence outcomes in a positive way. So share this message with everyone all over the planet, like-minded people, so that we are all on the same page. What I'm finding now more and more is that we don't need to have a leader rising up to lead us anymore. All of us are synchronized in our efforts and our next set of actions. And so things that have worked before are no longer working for the powers that be. The hidden hand is what I call it. Not the puppets, but the puppeteers. That's what we're after. We're after the source. We're after dismantling the source of all the greed, all of the power hungry, all of the manipulation, all of the deception. You know that things are shifting on this planet when the war is directed at the media, the same media that has been controlling the narrative that we hear, are now standing up against the manipulation and saying, no, we're going to start sharing the truth now. So this is how you know things have shifted. So we just need to continue what we're doing. Same energy, same strength, same laser focus. And we are going to see the system break and collapse and dismantle in our lifetime. Things will get intense, things will get uncomfortable, but that's the whole purpose of the practices of meditation and breath work. It's to calm us so that we recognize that no matter where we are the stabilizers in the environment that we happen to be placed in. We're the ones that will be able to calm people down. We're the ones who are going to be able to understand what is unfolding as it unfolds. Not just war, but the other natural phenomena that will perhaps be taking place. So I will see you guys on Friday if you do attend, and if not, remember, you are here. I'm going to use the phrase, you are chosen for this moment in time. I will see you on Friday.